we're located in ministry in South East London in West Thamesmead, which is a multicultural area, quite an exciting dynamic area. I job share with my husband Andrew, and we have a pioneering role in that area because we've been asked to plant a church, but there is actually no seed, as it were, to plant the church because we have no people, no manse, no building, so it was very much a new initiative. I love being able to respond to the call of God. Many people minister in various different ways, but obviously have other jobs that they have to do. But I really enjoy actually having the opportunity to respond to the call of God full time. I like being paid for what I love to do. I love the variety of it, and I love just being able to be responsive to what God calls me today to do for that day. I mean, I've been in ministry for 27 years now, and it's really been my main employment. I've not known really any other employment, and I just love it, really. There's not too many challenges. There are times when it's difficult, that perhaps you're in an environment, in a situation where people, are in distress, but yet you feel that you can have something to offer them. So in that sense, a challenge in itself is an opportunity. I think probably at this stage in our lives, because we've moved from the northwest down to London and left our daughter up there. She is an adult, but I think that's probably most challenging for us to actually leave family for ministry. But apart from that, we're really enjoying what we're doing. We don't have a building at the moment, and we don't actually have a permanent manse, but at the moment we have a manse that's in the location, which is very important to us, that we can borrow just for the moment. We live out of the area. But the manse itself is in a very good position. It's just by the bus stop. So we're looking in the future, if we do actually locate here, to have a bus stop ministry and give people free cups of tea and coffee when they go to work in the morning. But also we're making the most of the bus stop location in that we've put banners advertising events, because where we actually locate the weekly church that we're starting on Sunday and have located the bigger events has been actually in a local school where we're not allowed to advertise. So today we've been out leafleting. We've got 2,500 leaflets that we've been delivering to all the local houses, and also I've been in to visit the local school for the second time and talking to them about the prodigal son story. So we've got the children acting out and seem to enjoy that. I actually don't really think there's much to change. Where we used to be, or have been in previous pastoral ministry, there were more meetings, and although meeting is good, meeting people, but sometimes some of the business part of meetings just goes over my head really, and it's not my heart, my passion. But here it's a really vital type of ministry in the sense that everything is different and every day is different. So I don't think there's anything that is something that would put me off actually applying for this role again. Well, actually, when I was about 15 and became a Christian, I felt called to some kind of ministry, and I wasn't sure whether it was to be a minister or whether it was to be a missionary, and I did have a heart for Africa, which I still have now, which is interesting in this multicultural context. But my initial calling, at that age, I realised I couldn't follow that through, and also because I was too young, and also I'd never seen a woman minister, so I didn't know that they really existed. So I kind of bided my time for a while, and my family are musicians and my parents are music teachers, as is my sister, so I just followed that kind of family line of work, and I went to music college, but I always had at the back of my mind, I'd never mentioned it to anybody, but I always had at the back of my mind, I just feel God's calling me to something different, but I just followed the family kind of interest. But it wasn't until I was in my second year of music college that I failed my piano exam, which in some ways was disaster, but in other ways I felt maybe God's actually not calling me to this, as I'd already suspected anyway. And I went home to my family, my parents' house, and I got a job. But I prayed to God and I said, if you want me to be a minister, please tell my minister. And that was on Thursday night. On Friday night, my parents went along to a Bible study, and my mum was praying at the end of this Bible study saying, thank you, God, that Sally is now sorted out, she's got a job and everything's wonderful. And at the end of the prayer, my minister, who was in the Bible study, turned to my mum and said, during that prayer, I really felt that I should ask you, has Sally ever felt called to ministry? So I'd asked God to answer my prayer, and he did. So that was the start of me then applying for ministry. I trained at college at Luther King House, Northern College, and many aspects of ministry. I met my husband there, which was a good aspect of that ministry, and we then after that got married and job shared in ministry. But I think my training, although they tried to make it as practical as possible, I think my training, and they have developed it now, it's many years ago now, my training was limited in its usefulness. Particularly the spiritual part of the formation was something that I found quite a challenge, because the theological basis of the training was a lot more liberal than I was actually used to in my background, and also even now I'm more of an evangelical and more conservative theologically. I think my advice to somebody coming into ministry would be listen very hard first, because it's not something you jump into unless you're sure. But the process of coming into training for ministry and responding to that call is quite a lengthy one, and it's listening to others and helping them to them helping you to discern that call. But if you feel that call is there, just go for it. And it comes in many different ways, many different shapes. Ministry over the years for me has been very different in different contexts, but I wouldn't change it for the world.